Hello, hi, good morning, or whatever time of day it is for you guys. Welcome in. Thank you for joining my Sunday session. I really need to let's where everyone's at. So, what are you guys hoping to work on today? Happy Sunday, happy Sunday. Looks like we have I almost clicked on my own chat comment, but Evelyn in chat and my question of the day was what piece of media has inspired you lately? So if there's something that, has been sticking with you, has kind of given you some fuel for your own writing, tell me about it because I want to hear. For me, not to answer my own question, it has definitely been this is so weird, but if you've been watching my streams these past couple weeks, you know I've been listening to the Assassin's Creed video game like soundtracks to get into the writing mood. I think video game soundtracks are so good for ambiance, for getting transported into another world. And I want to turn off my notifications. But then, as I was listening to the music, it really made me want to start playing Assassin's Creed. So last night, I started playing an Assassin's Creed game again for the first time in probably at least 10 years. And it was so much fun, and I had a blast. And it's been really fun. The one I'm playing is set during like Revolutionary era France, so it's an older one. But it has been so fun. I played for like 3 hours last night. Percy says that they've been inspired by Sondheim and Lapin's Into the Woods. Very nice. Like the musical, I'm assuming. Oh, Cody's here. Hi, Cody. 9 comments left in this draft. My goal is for that number to be smaller by the end of the stream. Love it. My personal goal is to finish chapter 11. It's kind of frustrating. This is definitely like a kill your darlings moment, but chapter 11 in Project Crypt, which is my adult gothic-ish, it's an epic fantasy kind of. I don't know. I really don't know how to categorize it anymore. I had been pitching it as a gothic fantasy, but I don't really think it slots into that category so neatly anymore. But anyway, Project Crypt, it's about a death priestess who infiltrates a noble house of necromancers in order to get revenge on their patriarch for a crime that he committed 20 years ago. And chapter 11 has consistently been one of my favorite chapters in the whole book, and I haven't touched it that much, but I am adding a character into the like mix, the soup of the chapter 11 crew, and now I need to restructure the whole thing. So, yay. Love it. The book will be stronger for it, but it's really been a slog. I've been working on this for a week. I can only hope that all the chapters after this will be a little bit more chill. I can't take it anymore. Chapter 8 and now chapter 11 have just been nightmares. All right, so we have Nina in the chat. Also, we have Sarah in the chat. If I get your guys' names wrong, I am very sorry. I'm really bad at remembering names. It took me so long to remember my classes' names, and I still mix them up sometimes. Dodie's first 2 albums for inspiration. Nice. I love this. I've been thinking about this a lot with smells and other senses, but music too. There's just some things that transport you back to a certain era of your life, and it's so powerful sometimes. The band Camino's Never Always album duology. Nice, lots of music. Claro's music. Evelyn is transferring notes over from her red pen edits. Page 283, nice. Wish that were me. I'm on page 165 out of probably 340. I've been having so much fun, guys. Revision is so fun. Anyway. Z says they've been reading One Piece, and the pirate fantasy that's been percolating in the back of their mind is getting stronger. Controversial, maybe. I don't know if this is, but I loved One Piece live action so much. I think as someone who was a One Piece, excuse me, fan as a kid, like I would read the manga and like check out the volumes from the library. I just never got past whatever my library had, and also because it's very long. It's so nice to have a more approachable into the world, and I think the show is really well done, and it seems to really respect the source material a lot. So I am a One Piece fan once again at my big age, and that's beautiful. Cody started playing Sly 2. which I don't know what that is. PS2, that's I won't say old, but but I love that for you. Current inspo for a new project. Ooh, split fiction and you and Black Mirror. So very sci-fi-ish, dystopian, kind of a thriller maybe. I'm just spitballing and making guesses here, but that sounds really exciting. Dami's here. Hi, Dami. Inspired by listening to Hans Zimmer interviews about how he creates his musical scores. Nice, nice. I love Hans Zimmer's music as well. It's for me, I'm definitely one of those people because I hear words in my head rather than seeing things in my head. I don't have much visual thought at all. If I'm listening to music with lyrics in a language I can understand, I cannot write. I'm only hearing the lyrics. It's the weirdest thing. So I don't think I'm alone in this. Soundtracks are super important to my writing life. Cass is working on draft 2.5 on chapter 13. I hope to get to chapter 13 soon. But happy for you. Hopefully, we can get another chapter done together. Z says, I love One Piece live action. Nice. Yes. I think if I had more stamina right now, I would pick up the manga, but right now I'm just waiting for more One Piece live action. Oh, yes, an Ethel Kane fan. I need to get into Ethel Kane. I feel like she's like right up my alley, but I don't sometimes it's hard for me to get into new music. I don't know. Queer sci-fi dystopian thriller. Ah, yes. Yes, I'm so glad I guessed. We gotta have it soon, Cody, so you gotta work fast. Yay, Evelyn, we have to talk about live action One Piece at some point. Kelly's here. Hi, Kelly. Good morning. Girl, I miss you. Oh my god. Okay, and then Haley is trying to decide on which idea to start drafting next. Nice. I feel like that can be some of the most fun. It's one of the most fun, but also most stressful periods in a writer's life where you're like in transition. And also, I always find it difficult to kind of unlatch myself from a very polished or relatively polished book. And, or, I guess it's a draft one, so I don't know what level of polish you're at. And then go to something new and raw and that still has a lot to figure out. It can be very daunting, but it is so fun. It's 1 a.m. for me, so I'm just dropping in very quickly. Go to bed. Oh, sorry, that was like my inner mom, but yes, Florence and the Machine. Amazing, beautiful. So many of my favorite songs. Okay. I kind of just want to get right to it. I'm on deadline if you can't tell, and I want to be done. I have maybe like 3 weeks left before I have to turn this in, and it's terrifying. That's terrifying. I'm not even halfway through, so I'm afraid. I am frightened for my life. Oh, someone's saying hello. And I won't bust out my Korean because it's whack, but I see you. Okay, shall we go? 30 minutes sound okay for everyone? I am here. I am not here to play today. I will yap at some point, but right now I need to write. And I think you guys need to write too. So that's why we're here. Let's get to it. Okay, let's go, guys. Okay, we're back. Here, let me pause the break timer. And we're probably going to dive right back into another 30-minute session, but let's yap a little bit. So, how'd you guys do on that one? How's it going in general? If you just came into chat, what's up? How's it? How's the weekend for you? I need to like recalibrate a little bit. I am I'm going back and forth on chapter 11. Like, if you missed the talk earlier, chapter 11 has a specific set of characters. I wanted to add one of the other main characters into the mix, but I'm realizing he makes it less tense because he's so chill. Like, he's a very mellow, calm, like straightforward kind of presence in his family, and it's a little bit more fun when they're all frantic. So I think I'm going to tweak it so that he's just at the beginning and there's like a little bit of conflict between him and the main character, and then he leaves and the rest of the scene happens without him. But he leaves for like a good reason. I don't know. I think one of my main gripes with this draft right now is that a lot of stuff is happening because it has to happen, and I want it to really feel almost inevitable in a sense, and I want it to just feel like things are happening less conveniently, which is all about causality, right? It's all about that cause and effect. But let's see where we're at. Um excuse me, I'm a little flummy still. I was sick like 4 weeks ago, and I don't think it ever left me fully. Okay. Evelyn made it to page 295. Congratulations. Cody is down to 6 comments. Nice, nice. Z grabbed breakfast and is reading Isle of the Silver Sea. I'm really curious about that one. Haven't gotten around to it yet. That's Tasha Suri, right? I think, yeah, I share an agent with Tasha Suri, so I really want to read her series, the Lotus Empire kind of series. I don't know if that's the name of the whole thing, but I have all 3 books and I should read them. Also struggling on a chapter 11. Yup. It's because it's Act 2. Act 2 is such a nightmare. I am sorry for scaring you with the timer. I do think it's a very nice kind of light alarm sound. So hopefully it's not too bad. Lynn, when you're revising, do you reread your draft like a reader or speed read looking for cracks to mend? I don't know if I read like a reader, but I am very meticulous and I'll go back to the same chapters like again and again. But I do try to read in order, especially for revision 1. And yeah, what I'll do is I'll have 2 documents. One is like the new version and one is the old version. I'll have them kind of side by side to compare. Cass got distracted with a little bit of line editing, started to cut out words and take out a few scenes that I adored. Oh, so bittersweet of a productive 30 minutes, but I know it will make the manuscript stronger. I feel you there. I'm working on a gothic sports romance. That is a combination of subgenres that I never thought I'd see, but I kind of am here for it. I love it. But in setting up the sports team aspect, I kind of feel like I'm just doing Mean Girls. Z said, do you do timers with your students? Yes, I do. It's very helpful. Except all of mine are way too loud. I need to find one that sounds like Flocus. Honestly, maybe I should just use Flocus, right? Like, but the thing is, I like to insert it into my slides. I don't know. Who knows? Trying to get back into writing. Want to finish this draft before the end of June. You got time. You have time. Plenty of time until the end of June. Last weekend of intense work before the end of semester for me, so I've been quite busy, but it's also my birthday weekend. Happy birthday weekend. So I've been letting myself enjoy it. Managed to add a grand total of 90 words. It's pretty good. Edited and rewrote over 432 words so far. Very nice. Sounds like we're all being pretty productive, which I love to see. I'm kind of bummed that I didn't get too far into the scene where I had this additional character in it, so it's not that bad, but it's just kind of annoying when you like make a rewrite revision and then you realize it doesn't actually work in practice and you gotta backtrack a little bit. It's like, why did I do all that? Shouldn't this have happened during drafting? And it might have. Like, genuinely, sometimes I think that when I'm drafting, if I might go through a couple iterations of a scene, and I feel like sometimes in revision, I forget what iterations of a scene I've gone through, and I just try it again, which is it the most, efficient way of writing? No, but maybe it does something. Sorry, there's, like, a bug on my screen. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if anyone else is like that. So much of my life would be easier if I just didn't have the memory of a goldfish, genuinely, it's so bad. I have such a bad short-term and long-term memory, except that I can randomly remember, like, probably the most useless factoids ever. So, yep. Cool. Oh, we got some Gemini on Gemini love here. Have you heard of the Caraval series by Stephanie Garber? Well, I'm doing my own version of the second book in the series to get inspired to write my own fantasy series. Cool. Um, I have heard of Caraval, but I have never read it. I feel like it came out a little bit after I would have been in that like age category slash interest group, but you know, it does seem very popular. Sometimes the whole work is like that couch Chandler and Ross couldn't get up the stairwell in Friends. I have not seen much of Friends, but yeah, it really is like that sometimes, just trying to get a couch up the stairs. Oh, I don't know why I'm so sleepy all of a sudden. All right. How do we feel? You can tell I'm trying to be productive today because I'm not even yapping. It's it's interesting. But how do we feel about another 30, or do we want to do one that's a little bit longer? I am not accepting shorter as an answer. I'm sorry. It can't be shorter, but it can be longer. So tell me how long you want it to be. That sounded kind of weird. Ooh. I'm sending my story to a beta reader for the first time tomorrow. Nice. That is Lynn, you might need a co-yapper on days like these. No. I mean, I do like having a co-host, but I also decided I wanted to stream today, like yesterday or the day before. So, yeah. Sometimes my ADHD wins. 45, 45, 40, 35. I kind of like this idea, working up to 45 in increments. So yeah, why not do 35 next? Let's do a cheeky 35. Um, how do I tweak this? What? Oh, I'm stupid. Okay. 35, and then I have to do this. Yup, okay. The increment idea. Oh, hi, Anna. Anna was on my retreat. Not to dox you, I guess, but sometimes non-yap streams are productive ones, so it's okay. I agree. I'm honestly, for me right now and lately, I've been doing weekly streams for a little bit now, not even on purpose, and it's because I'm on deadline and because like I want to get stuff done. Like I also like hanging out and stream, but my goal is to get stuff done because if I don't have something extrinsic like this when I'm really struggling with a revision, I don't know. This is like a skill issue. I don't have a lot of intrinsic motivation sometimes, so I need this outside input. So lately it's been either I film a vlog and I do a lot of sit down writing sessions for the vlog, or I stream and we do a bunch of sprints. And either way, I get a lot done over the weekend. So, okay. 35 sound good to everyone. And then next we'll do 40 and then maybe up to, I think if we keep it short with the yapping, we can do 45. Um, yeah, I think we'll be good. Okay. Let's begin. If everyone's ready and good to go. Cool. Good luck, everyone. Get to work. Hi, that was the timer. How'd it go for everyone? Looks like we have a couple of new folks in chat. Cami stopped by and EM did as well. I hope it's going well for everyone. I think I'm almost done with this chapter. I'm like past the kind of critical event that happens in it, and it's pretty messed up. So sometimes I really do wonder, like, what is wrong with me that my imagination is like this? But yeah, let me know how you guys did on that one. I think I legitimately have two and a half pages left. Beautiful. We're gonna finish that up in the next one, and maybe we'll see if I can get some of chapter 12 done. Oh, okay. All right. Really clean up this opening scene. Nice, nice. Ate some breakfast. We read all chapters. Very nice. First draft of a short story for a contest. Ooh, good luck. Good luck with both the slump and the contest. You got this. 456 words. Cass forgot how to write or think. So real. I think at a certain point, like probably at around the 30-minute mark, I was like, what am I doing? But you just gotta push through it. Who needs to think, right? I don't know how I feel about this line though. Tension drained like old bathwater. A little too Bella Delphine. I don't know who that is. I think that's an interesting. I feel like it depends on the context of the simile, right? Because if they're thinking of bathwater in that moment, I'm on the struggle bus trying to expand the first interaction between my female main character and male main character. For real, like actually same. It's so hard to write. Like Crypt isn't even really a romance. It doesn't have much of a romantic subplot. It's a romance in this very old sense in that like love is a driver of a lot of the things that characters do, but it's not necessarily a romance in that they're falling in love actively as that's happening. I think there's different interpretations. Cody Cody finished. Okay, yes, congratulations. Snaps and claps for Cody. Amazing. Okay, just rapid fire. Lots of people are getting stuff done, and we love to see it. Cleaning up a transition. The Concerta and coffee really came together. Yay! Congratulations on finishing draft 6. That is actually so exciting. Love that for you. Love that for you. I'm working on an outline and no word count to share, but this is my first time actually outlining and it's going swimmingly. I think as I like progress in my writing career, I'm just like outlining is so necessary. I am supportive of people who pants, but also almost everyone I know who was a self-identified pantser eventually became a plotter. So do with that information what you will. Everyone's a little different. All brains and minds are magical, but there's something about outlining before you actually write the book. It's so helpful. 560 words, editing. That wasn't response to me. Okay. Do you guys have another one in you? I feel like we could do a 40 minutes. I feel like we could, why not? I do want to stretch because I can feel it in my ankles. I'm absolutely sitting like a cat right now, and like my legs are folded in such a heinous way. So I need to get up and stretch, and I encourage you guys to do so as well if you've been sitting for a while. Oh my gosh. Yep. That was very needed. Oh yeah, here's the dress. It is thrifted like pretty much everything else I own, but it's such a cute little baby doll silhouette summer dress. And it's very lightweight, which I like. And I'm pretty sure it's 100% cotton. I know it is because I can't buy, the craziest thing happened, which is that I just got some like random underwear, like a pack of new underwear because I won't buy under things used. I think that's an okay line to draw in the sand. But then it gave me like such a bad rash. It gave me a horrible eczema outbreak in the shape of the underwear. This is maybe too much information. And I was like, oh, it's because it's polyester. I can't wear synthetic fabrics anymore. My skin doesn't like it. It may have also been like just some kind of chemical on the fabric or something, but it was nasty. Oh my god, I looked insane. Um, Nice. Cody now gets to spend the rest of his Sunday playing video games guilt-free. I wish it were stormy here. It's hot. I have to drive an hour to go water plants and then drive an hour back after watering plants. So, yay, but it's fine. It's fine. Yep. I'm a planter. I outline and then I don't follow it. But the outline shows you what you don't want to do. I also I think I am a little bit more planner than pantser, so I'm a plan to serve. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with what I was doing, but like even if you don't use the outline, I think it's valuable to have a roadmap that you know not to follow. Does that make sense? Especially because a lot of writing for a lot of people is so much trial and error. Like you spend a lot of time doing stuff that you don't use, and it can be very frustrating. But if you have an outline, it makes it a little easier. Lynn was right about the not a romance thing, but the relationship is so important to the novel. I agree. And I think that is like, I'm so excited for Anna's book. Not to put you on the spot, but I'm so excited for it. And I think that there's a lot of like I love a love story, I love a romance, but also there's just something about two people who are drawn to each other in that way, but can't act on it for various reasons, but are still connected through other means. And their relationship is like really complicated because of that. I love it. It's awesome. I love outlining. As a slower writer, it's so necessary to have the story laid out in front of me and work through some of the main ideas in a week to a couple of weeks. Yes, I agree. Also a very slow writer, and also just outlining does save time. It really does. East Coast, the entire holiday weekend getting rained out when it's finally beach weather is criminal. I wish I had a beach. I wish I had a beach because it's beautiful and sunny out. But unfortunately, I guess I don't count a lake as a beach. I'm sorry. If the water's not salty and if it has like leeches in it, I'm not going to count it as a beach. That's just my bias. Agreed. My first completed manuscript took me 8 years with pantsing. Yes, I agree. My first completed manuscript took me like 15 years with pantsing. Well, I did finish it a couple times, but like it was bad. It's been so rainy this weekend. It's the summer storms are kind of starting. Adam, it actually is not the tail end. I think we're going to do one more, and it's going to be 40 minutes if you guys will allow me the pleasure of doing a 40-minute sprint with you guys. So I propose we go into it. What do y'all think? Are we ready for 40 minutes? Did you know you only have 40 minutes? I am ready personally. I'm so excited to finish this chapter and finish filling out part of this. Every day I look at my MOTHSBLOOD revision chapter tracker and I yearn for the days when my chapter trackers weren't literally just ugly blobs, which is what this is. I love this. If a body of water isn't fathomless and doesn't invoke thalassophobia, does it count as a beach? Yes, because I'm so scared of the ocean, but I love her. Does that make sense? I love all bodies of water, but an ocean and a lake is not the same. They are not. I'm sorry. Also, I live in the Great Lakes region. I love the Great Lakes. You can't see the other side. Like, I can convince myself that's an ocean, but it's still not because it's cold. And there's not. It's cold. Okay. Let's go. Bye, Cody. Congrats on finishing. I think fear and love is the correct way to approach the ocean. I agree. It really does feel like an entity sometimes because it's so unknowable. It's so vast. Our planet is so weird. The ocean is famously never cold. Yeah, it's always cold, but it's a different kind of cold. I mean, it doesn't freeze over, at least not in my part of the world where I lived. But Great Lakes, ice chunks everywhere. I don't know. It's just different. They're not an ocean. They're different. They could be oceans if they were salty, but I don't know. They could be seas, maybe. I think they technically are the size of inland seas, but they're just Freshwater. Okay, no more ocean talk. We're going. All right, we are good to go. I'm wondering why my nose is so red. Does anyone else see that? That's really weird. I hope it goes down. Anyway, how did that go for everyone? I can't stop noticing my nose. Oh my goodness. I got like 2 scenes into chapter 12. I think it's fine. I don't know. I think like a lot of this book is fine, but it's not quite what I want it to be, you know? Um, okay. Well, I'm very glad you were still locked in. Had to get lunch, no problems there. You know, we got to eat and feed ourselves. After this, I definitely want to go get lunch. I think I don't know. Do we want to do a little yap session, answer any questions, and then call it quits? Because that's kind of how I'm feeling. Not gonna lie, we got a lot done though, so I am proud of us. I hope that 40-minute session felt good. I think 40 to 45 minutes is definitely a sweet spot. An hour always feels like way too much, but 40 to 45, you know, you can get into the groove and get a good chunk of stuff done. Um, yeah, I am now on page 183, which isn't bad. I wish I were further along. I'm a little bit past halfway, and I have a long weekend, obviously, because I'm in the US, so it's Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, but we got a day and a half. Maybe I'll write some this evening. I just really want to get through Act 2, man. Like, I'm so sick of it. But, yeah. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. 1,000 words. Nice. Just hit 45K. Love to hear it. An upstairs neighbor decided to make me a jumbo lunch. 2 pounds of chicken cutlet. Whoa! That is a lot of food. Dang. To quote FK Twigs, so locked in, need a crowbar. That's good. Admin stuff, typing away. Yes, I do have a weird pimple up there, so hopefully it goes away. Just trying to cover it up so I'm decent looking for you guys. No, I like pick pimples pretty often, so I need to have something to cover it. 803 words, amazing. Doing a post-writing summary for future me. Anyone want to share where they think they're at and what they think the work needs? That might be a fun little thing to wrap up here. 45-minute sprints. They are the sweet spot. I don't know what it is. 1,100 words done. How did it feel the moment you first learned you were going to get a publishing deal? Was there ever a moment when it was all hard to process? When I heard that we had interest from Bloomsbury, I remember I was student teaching. So I was I was on my student teaching gig and I got the email and she was like, not confirmed yet. It was just like editor interest and like a complimentary email from the person who would become my editor. And I remember like reading the email, freaking out internally, and I still had to be professional and still like locked in. And then I just started crying on the drive to class because I would do student teaching and then I'd go to night classes after. So I was just like crying and driving down the isthmus. The isthmus. I can't. The isthmus. Yeah. It was a lot. It was really overwhelming. I didn't believe it. I think for the first 6 months, I was like, "This isn't real. They're gonna take it away." But yeah, it was definitely a special moment, and it's gonna live in my head for a really long time. And I think the best part though was telling people because I got to like tell a bunch of people and they were so excited for me. And so their excitement made me feel excited because prior to that I was just like, this isn't real. Like this is a practical joke. 800 words, fantastic. Oh, that's nice. I'm so sorry that we're ending. um, or I hope that you were able to catch some of the sprint, but always love seeing new people. These are super helpful. Oh, Anna just got over 6,000, so about 600 to 700 today. Amazing. 230 words. Hey, you know, that is awesome. Okay, going back to post-writing summary. I know I'm at kind of this tail end of Act 2. I think it's going to be a lot of clarifying emotions. I'm very I think I'm very practical, so I'm just gonna be like, "Here's what I'm gonna do next, and here is what I'm gonna do after the whole revision is done." So right now I'm going chapter by chapter, hence why I have a chapter tracker. I look like a clown, I'm sorry. Okay, we're gonna talk like this. No, that doesn't work either. I'm gonna just look away. I'm going chapter by chapter with my revision. I'm, like, going through my editor's inline comments and making adjustments based on that, but also based off of what I'm feeling the work needs, because it's really the first time since, well, that's not true. I read almost all of it on paper and was making red line notes in this guy. So I have this that I printed. I have not used it as a resource, I'm not gonna lie. I just left so many comments that it was deeply overwhelming, and I think this is going to have to wait until after I do kind of a gut instinct slash editor notes revision. But my UK editor also left chapter by chapter notes at the bottom of the document, so I'm going to do a second pass with just those notes. Um, Probably a third pass that just ties everything together, or I can combine that with the second pass. I find that I can only focus on one set of notes at a time. Like, I always will solicit multiple beta readers, and I have two editors who work together really well to provide feedback on my work, but I really, really, really struggle to consolidate conflicting feedback, or even like feedback that has a slightly different take on the same thing. So I have to like go through. I just did this with the short story that I recently finished. Go through, address all the comments in the short story from one person, and then do another pass with like the next person's feedback. So it's not efficient, but yep, that's how it goes for me. So I think I really do take kind of an incremental revision approach. Like, this is going to get revised top to bottom 2 or 3 more times before I send it anywhere. Which is also kind of why I'm panicking with the deadline, because I don't have time to do really careful revisions that I like to do. So we're freaking out in this house, but at the very least, I'm gonna get one really in-depth revision done and then a pass that just brings it all together. But yeah. Hey, half a chapter is, yeah, exactly. Progress is progress. Pff, no comment, but yeah, at least I'm not a clown on the inside. I mean, I am, but in like a fun way, I hope. Um, and I've had conflicting notes before, and like all I could do was think that feels true to what I'm trying to say, slash what is clear and honest, but it's so hard. Yeah, it's like I really deeply consider every bit of feedback that I get, and I would say that like probably 85 to 90% of the time I will apply other people's feedback, just because even if they're not giving a suggestion that I will directly take, the fact that they're suggesting something means that there's an issue with that particular moment or character arc or whatever they're commenting on. So I always consider that, but it can be really, it's just too much feedback sometimes when it's trying to consolidate different conflicting, yeah, you know what I mean. Adam says fun way. Yep. I am a middle school teacher, so I have to I have to be a little goofy, I think. Moving around scenes, cutting some, basically gutting my fun and game section. It's low-key giving me a headache because I have to fix everything in a way that makes sense for beta readers. Same. My fun and game section makes no sense. It's also not fun and it's not games, but it's political intrigue. I don't know. Which is fun and games for some people. I'm writing a first draft of a new novel. I think one of the hardest parts of it is allowing yourself to write badly. I'm always having to remind myself this is far from the draft any agents might see. I think I've like tried to let go of any expectations for any part of the process. Like, yes, give yourself a lot more grace and leniency on your first draft, but you don't have to write badly, right? You can still write and take your time, especially if you're not on a deadline or a time crunch, and like write the way you want the story to turn out. Of course, if a scene is taking you 3 months to get through, skip it. Go somewhere else. Try something else before you go back to it, because we don't need that kind of toxicity in our life. But, you know, I don't know. I kind of reject the idea that first drafts need to be bad or lesser in some way. I think they can still absolutely be quality writing. They just don't have to be, you know? I hope that makes sense. But again, prescriptivist writing advice is for the birds. But I feel you. It can be really hard also to I've had to show publishing professionals my first drafts. I don't like it. The first draft is you discovering the story. There's no reason to go back and edit it until you know what the story is. This is why I outline. So for me, the outline is me discovering the story, and I'll outline a couple different times. And then when I actually sit down to write and like tell the story, you're not necessarily close line editing, copy editing, everything, but I think you can still absolutely write scenes that are pretty close to their final form. Like, I don't know. I don't think it needs to if you struggle with the idea of producing a first draft that's not up to your standards, then you don't have to do that. Political intrigue drives me crazy. I get excited getting to the scene and then remember I have to actually write doublespeak. I'm such a lover of subtext. I love the political intrigue of what I'm writing right now. It's a lot of fun for me. Yeah, the outline for me, of course, everyone is different. Like broad strokes serves no one, especially in art. But yeah, the outline is really the discovery phase for me. And not even just outlining, but prior to that, when I'm brainstorming, I'll write out whole scenes and I'll write out entire scenes like completely in isolation and toss them into my outline. Like, it's whatever, just having fun with it. My outlines are an entire city map. The first draft is the process of moving everyone into the houses. That, I like that. I like that a lot. In your opinion, what would you say are the hardest parts of writing 2 novels at once? I try not to do that anymore as best as I can. If anything, like, at most, I'll maybe be first draft on one story, revision on another, but for me, it's like, I can't do what I'm supposed to do if I have too many things happening in my brain at once. You know, neurodivergent and such. Not to just blame that. I think it is generally easier for most people to do something well if they're able to prioritize that one thing, which has always been a struggle for me. But I think it's hard to distinguish everything like voice, intent. I have to be in a certain headspace, I have to have certain vibes if I'm going to, really immerse myself in a project. Um, and again, that's just me, but I think distinguishing those threads, those kind of not so direct things, like things that aren't so evident on and explicit on the page, like character, dialogue, plot, world building, those are fine. But the less tangible things, kind of like, yeah, subtext, voice, atmosphere, tone, they tend to get lost if I'm doing 2 novels at once. Front burner and back burner, high heat and low heat. We must be at least a little kind to ourselves. Real. It's very real. Okay. Having grace as a writer is giving myself permission to make things better later. Now, if I could remember that every time. Yeah, it's easy to say, like, give yourself grace, be a little easier on yourself, kind of go with the flow, and then actually doing it. Totally different story every single time. Okay. I gotta go eat something. So, if I don't know, y'all could, if you want to do more of these streams, if you like writing videos and you're not already subscribed, please do so. Obligatory plug, MOTHSBLOOD comes out October 13th in the US and UK, so please pre-order the book. You can get signed pre-order copies from You and Me Books in Manhattan and A Room of One's Own. They do ship, so yeah, it is super helpful to authors to pre-order because it boosts those first week sales numbers and lets my publisher know that I was not a bad gamble and encourages them to let me continue writing for money. So, yeah. Thanks guys so much for coming. Bye everyone. I hope you got some good stuff done and I will see you guys next time. Bye.